Welcome to Total Fitheads.
Serious fitness for not so serious people.
Nice couch.
Thanks. You didn't notice the past 2 episodes?
Is it on?
You're just in a bad mood. You can see your hand. It takes a while to get heated up.
I love when people are wearing any sort of ring that has a stone in it that looks like a mood ring, because then I just say like, "Oh, whoa, are you okay? You angry? Oh, wait, hungry? Hold on. Oh, I get it. You're sad. Wait a minute." And they think it's not that funny at all.
Solid dad joke. Mood rings, it feels like it falls in the category of crystals and manifesting. But not. Everyone knows mood rings are just temperature sensitive, right? Do people believe it? I guess if you're angry, do you get colder? No. Isn't the trope that steam and fire comes out of cartoons' ears whenever they're mad? You get hotter.
Red.
Red is mad. And also...
Well, but red is not...
fruit.
Does the mood ring turn red if it's hot, or does it turn a different color if it's hot?
Funny, you should ask. So, between 60 degrees and 90 degrees, it goes through a spectrum. It's thermochromatic crystals are what makes it happen, and these crystals have this special feature that just exists in the world that I guess somebody manifested, God made, whatever, science created, so that at different temperatures they bend, which means they reflect light in a different way. So below 60, it's black. That's what it reflects, all light spectrum. No, wait, it absorbs all light spectrum. We're getting into a art lesson, color theory, science. And then it goes to kind of, red is the next one. So it's not actually
Red's
that
the
hot.
coldest.
Yeah, it's like
colors.
a rust-ish red, black into orange, and then green, and then blue, and then purple, and then weirdly it goes like green, blue, purple again. Yeah. So a middle hot is purple, and then super all the way hot, also purple.
Is it like a lighter purple?
No, it looks the same. I don't know. The crystals are twisting more and more.
This is what you learn in art school?
No, this was researching for this couch. For everyone who's listening on audio, my couch is a mood ring. It changes color based on how hard you're manifesting that day. No, based on temperature. Although it's already pretty cracky, and see, like here, it's warm. I don't know, that's odd. I also had the AC like blowing on it, so it's...
Yeah.
Whatever. So are there people out there that really think that mood rings are telling some sort of truth? Besides the temperature of your body between 60 and 90 degrees?
It's weird, like it's one of those things where, you know, little kids think a mood ring is real, and then someone clues them into like, no, it's just temperature of your body. And they're like, oh, okay. And then now we like make fun of people who believe in mood rings, but people believe in a lot of things that other people don't believe in. You know?
Yeah, like ulcers are caused by stress.
Right? There's a million things.
That infuriates me, mostly because they use stress as the reason for a lot of medical problems. And then ulcers specifically, they're like, oops, nope, we've been telling everyone to stop stressing out so much, it's their own fault. And actually, it's a bacteria that we discovered, and it's not related to stress at all.
So does that make you mad because everyone lied, or does that make you mad because you're stressed out all the time?
Makes me mad because it feels as though people using stress for other things could also be very wrong or slightly wrong or somehow related, but misleading people into thinking that, oh, if you just stop stressing out, which is so vague, that they would be healthier and solve whatever specific problem they have.
Yeah, I think, it's not a bad thing to tell someone to watch their stress levels.
Yes, of course.
There are bad things.
That's
But
okay. That's an
annoying.
ends, not a means.
It's kind of like when you're a little kid and somebody told you that carrots are good for your eyesight, and so you ate 1,000,000 carrots.
And so you shoved carrots in your eyes?
Thinking you'd eventually be able to see in the pitch black.
Yeah,
And
with
they're
three
like,
walls.
Nah. They have like vitamins and stuff in it that are like good for you, and specifically your eyesight. But
Is it even? I feel like that's made up too. Like the bread crust thing.
it's got to be it's vitamin B, right? I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in there that's good for you.
Maybe. I don't know. Carrots are pretty sugary. You should have cruciferous vegetables, actually. Put the carrots away, Bugs Bunny.
You should, right?
Carrots are the candy of vegetables.
That's a classic push my glasses up. Actually, you should blah 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 blah. Oh, alright, dude. Sheesh.
Carrots are for weak people.
Right.
And cartoon rabbits. Okay. So, you're saying... Oh yeah, so what other examples do we have where people are like, this is definitely true, and then we figured out...
Cracking your knuckles. That was a big one. That one really pissed me off because I crack my knuckles all the time. And then I feel like there was some scientist that cracked one of his hands. The knuckles on his left hand for like 50 years, and he didn't do it on his right hand, and there was no discernible
Well, that's an
difference.
N of one study. He might just have really great knuckle genetics.
He might. On the other hand, they say every time you crack your knuckles, they say, that causes blah, blah, blah. And you're not like, well, that's an N of one, blah, blah. And you're like, nope, that's everyone all the time. Every knuckle crack's going to immediately cause, or not immediately, but eventually definitely cause...
Well, I fully trust chiropractor Nathan Lazinski, who we had on the podcast, that said, no, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Knuckle cracking, I love cracking my knuckles.
How often do you do it? I've never experienced you doing it.
Oh, all the time.
Do you do it in secrecy? Maybe I just don't... No, I definitely would notice because it's a little bothersome, especially how good you are at it.
I got real good.
How long do you have to wait then until you can do it again?
I don't know, probably half an hour. Maybe... I never try it. I don't do it for speed. I do it for comfort.
It feels better once you do it?
Oh my god, it feels so good. You never crack anything?
Yeah, sometimes I'll accidentally crack a knuckle and then throw up when I hear it. No, it doesn't feel any better. It's not a thing that I do.
And you ever crack your nose? Yeah, love that one. I can do my neck pretty good.
Well, see, and then Nathan was like, don't do your spine because you'd have to do all of them, and he has to do it for you, otherwise you miss something, and then you're too flexible in some places and not others, and then your muscles get out of alignment, and then your fascia, oh my goodness, your fascia. Anyway, you can just manifest yourself having better musculature and joints, right?
Well, I feel like we started this topic because manifesting has been coming up for both of us, sort of like coming up in our lives. Either we know people who are doing it, or we make fun of it, or we make fun of it and then it works.
Well, I wanted to say, you mean coming up in our lives, you mean everyone, because it's everywhere, and then I just realized, oh no, I might just be in a weird, stupid LA echo chamber of
fitness.
Vision boards and auditioning, and it's a fitness thing too?
It's definitely, I
feel like it's a financial thing.
Health and wellness.
No, everyone's vision board's like money. They're not like, ooh, yeah, I really want to have a great blood pressure. No one puts that on their vision board.
They put hot bod, for sure.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty much still money.
Well, I feel like I think for us, we've been making fun of I've been making fun of manifesting a lot because I think it's kind of silly. Now, I also know people personally. I see it professionally. I see it on Instagram. Oh man, you got to visualize this. That's how you make your first 10 million. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, pal, sell me some more coaching courses or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then I know people personally who really like it and really do it, and all of their stuff comes true.
Really?
Lindsay Hoffman, huge in the manifesting.
I'm pretty sure she's got a mansion on her vision board. Has that come true yet?
Well, first of all, that's a lot of assumptions. One, that you're assuming what her vision board is.
Yes.
Two, assuming what's on it.
I'm
Three,
saying there are bigger things on her vision board than what has happened to her. Also, I love Lindsay. Like, she's a good friend of both of ours, and like power player in the creator world.
She showed me one once, or she like I forget what it was, but she like posted on Instagram. She was like, "Yeah, it's weird. Like I did this vision board, and things keep getting knocked off." Like, it's like a checklist. It's not even like a vision board. I'm like, what?
She just put a sandwich on her vision board, and I was like, oh my goodness, I had lunch today. Nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I make fun of it because it's silly, I think, and then people do it and it seems to work incredibly well.
See, I first heard it and I was already sucked in. Just like every guest we have.
How would you describe it then? Or where did you first
It's like
hear
when
about
we
it?
have a crappy guest on. Not that we've ever had a crappy guest. Ahem. And we're both like, oh, this one might be tough. And then they present whatever crappy thing they're saying, and by the end of it, I'm like, I need to spend 1 year doing exactly what you're saying, and give you all my money, and commit fully, because this is fantastic. So, it is mostly because, yeah, people that talk about manifesting are usually crushing it. I guess I don't know, they're probably, man, I want to know all of the people just failing at life that, like, hate everything, and also try manifesting.
Well, that's what the question. That's start at the beginning. What even is manifesting?
Yeah, okay.
Because you were saying like you put a sandwich on there. Manifesting isn't like a shopping list. Manifesting is like I wish these things happen, not like I want to buy some pencils. That was my first mistake because I'm like I don't understand what this is. You just put stuff you want to do, or
I think honestly, if the pencils were something that would level up your career, you could put those or whatever. If it's something that you care about, it could be a shopping list with pencils on it.
So it's a checklist, or it's a destination, or it's a.
I think there are different techniques, and you can like repeat the ones that are really important. I've heard of that, or having it on your mirror in the morning. A vision board seems a lot more visual, obviously, and vague, but it really is just stuff you want in life.
How specific do you get?
By the way, I said the sandwich thing because it's a comic strip of Calvin and Hobbes where
Tuna
Calvin
sandwich.
gets a wish. It's like, what would you wish for if you wish for anything? And he goes, tuna sandwich. So you've seen this. And Calvin's like, what? That's so stupid. Why would you wish for a tuna sandwich? You could have anything in the world. Money, power.
He goes, I'd wish for a fighter jet and a pet velociraptor.
Yeah. Wow, I love that you remember that. I didn't. And then the last frame, Hobbs is eating a tuna sandwich. He's like, I got my wish.
And the best part is how miserable Calvin is.
Yeah. So, wait, should you dial back your expectations on your vision board? They never say that. They say, shoot for the moon and then land among the stars, which is still $10 million probably.
Right. Well, I think the lesson in that strip was certainly like, don't, like, at least put things on there that are achievable. Like, don't put
I think the
flight.
lesson was be happy with what you have, I thought.
Yeah, or something that you can get that isn't unattainable.
Right. Yeah, there's no lesson in vision boards because they're not trying to teach you, yeah, you could get that $10 million and still be sad. No one is saying that's talking about manifesting. They're not saying be happy with what you have, which I think is a great message.
I don't know. I mean,
meaning be happy
I guess
with what you
I have
have.
a lot of questions about what you do, how you do it, what's the difference between visualization and manifesting? Like in sports, a lot of times people talk about they like visualize technique, or they visualize plays, or they like this guy's gonna do this, I can counter it with that.
I wholeheartedly believe in that.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's a big part of, but I guess that's physical execution, right?
Well, before you have even a phone interview or a job interview, there's this thing called, I don't know what the term is. Just take up as much space as you can while you're in the waiting room. Just be as big as you can. And before you make the phone call, stand like a freaking superhero. And I think it's posing, whatever.
Pose like a superhero is a big one.
Yeah, and then that's a physical thing. Going into a social situation, there is a physical aspect to it. So I do believe in that part of manifesting, that if you're imagining yourself with confidence, that will come through. That's the difference between, like, the steps in between. If you're imagining yourself with $10 million, or you're imagining all the steps to get there, I feel like those are two different things.
But yeah, I think part of that, what you're saying though, is posture affects your mental state a little bit.
Yes.
Standing up straight,
which will then affect other people's mental state about you. So there is that to manifesting. If you're open to stuff, you will it will be easier for you to attain. So there's this book where they talked about people that feel like they're lucky and people that feel like they're not lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And
You're right.
Right. They're right. And so they got this group of people, both felt like they're lucky and felt like they're unlucky, and they were actors, and so they sent them through the same scenario. They didn't realize it was all staged, but they were supposed to go meet someone at a bar, and they had a set time to go there. So on the way there was a $10 bill just sitting on the ground, and when they got there was only one seat open, and right next to that seat was a casting director that could cast them in a huge movie.
Mm-hmm.
The people that felt like they were unlucky didn't see the money, sat down next to the casting director, were mad because the person that they're supposed to meet never showed up, and left. You know what the lucky people did. Found the $10.
Slept with the casting director.
Obviously found the $10, got over the fact that their appointment never showed up, started talking to the casting director, got the role.
Uh-huh.
So it's the same scenario, but you feel you're lucky, and I feel like that level of manifesting is what I believe in.
Do you feel like you're lucky?
Yes. Before I read that book. And now I'm like, oh man, I'm not really lucky, I just think I'm lucky. And
it's
now
all
it's
a
lucky
scam. Life is a scam. Because I read a book. That's your problem. That's your big problem.
So the initial thing with manifesting is just, yes, put yourself in the mindset to be open to good things happening. But when you watch The Secret, which we should have to prep for this, rewatched it, because I know you've seen it. You haven't seen it?
I don't want to read The Secret. I don't want to watch The Secret.
It's a book too? Oh no.
Every time... Here's my main problem, is that I'm sure it's worth watching or reading, but every time I deal with someone who's really into it, I can't not roll my eyes uncontrollably.
Yes.
You know, they're so hippie, crunchy,
tapped
out there. You know what I mean? Like the opposite of how I talk and relate to people.
Yes.
And the opposite of East Coast. I guess that's kind of a dumb way to say it.
Not analytical.
It's just so like, oh man, that's great. You know, I can't deal with them, and I like them, but when they start talking to them, I'm just like, I'm out. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna look at the back of my brain for a second. You know what I mean? It's so frustrating. But The Secret is one of the most famous books, and it's a famous. People in LA love The Secret. You watched it?
Yes, I watched it. I didn't even realize it was a book. I guess I should. They probably talk about it in the film too. It was a while ago. They take it too far, to extremes, because I'm able to talk about manifesting in a very scientific way and be like, well, here's a study that showed about lucky and unlucky, and here are the physical changes when you actively have a belief or an openness in a situation, blah, blah, blah. It's still a very analytical look at that.
Sure.
But then The Secret takes it way further.
So what is The Secret? Why don't you explain for people who don't know what it is?
It's just another description of manifesting that really pushes you to wholeheartedly believe something and repeat it, and almost makes you feel as though if you can't fully get your mind to believe that this $10 million is coming, then it won't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so the skeptic in me will destroy any manifesting I could ever do.
Is it specific, like I want to get that job, or I want a steady form of employment, or you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, they say, that's another thing. They say think big versus I would like some safety and security in my life. They're like, no, you want to say that you want a job at the drive-thru at McDonald's from 9 to 6 p.m. Like, yeah.
So they do want
you to be very specific.
But then what happens if you don't? That was what whoever we were talking to, I can't remember. We're all out of order, but when we were talking about manifesting, and she was like, yeah, you sort of just think about being happy, not
I believe
having
that's
a bicycle.
Great. I mean,
you know
sure.
what I mean?
Sure, yeah, and maybe I'm getting it wrong, and there I'm sure are different tactics.
Yeah.
But I've heard ones where you be very specific and you even repeat the exact thing that you want. Have you ever heard of Whoop My Life?
No. No.
It feels like manifesting, but there are more steps in between. So you start with your big idea or this big thing that you want, and then you think about all the things that could get in the way to stop you from getting there, and then you think about all of the ways you could get there. and to get over those obstacles.
Give me
And
an
then
example.
and then you talk about what's getting in the way from you actually taking those steps, and then you go do it.
So I want to be a rock star.
Right.
What do I do? How do I think about it?
Yeah. So what
You
can
don't
get
learn how
in
to
the
play
way?
music.
I know, I've done it. I guess we could use an example from my life. The only time that I ever did it, which it didn't really work. But it was more something like I already could attain it. So I was looking for someone to help me manage my email inbox or whatever. And
Sure.
I was like, so what's in the way of this? And it was like, I just haven't talked to enough people. And I'm like, why am I not talking to enough people? And then I just texted all my friends being like, who do you know that could help me do this? And then, I mean, I didn't actually find anyone, but it was like, it was a more process-oriented way to manifest something versus just being like, I want $10 million. You think about what you want, and then what are the hindrances to getting what you want, and then your steps to get past said hindrances.
Is that manifesting? That feels like...
No, this is, I guess I'm kind of bringing up something that feels more scientific than manifesting. It's called, WHOOP stands for, hold on, I'll look it up. But it still felt a little, like the way they present it still feels a little woo-woo, which is why I was like, huh.
Whoa, human. Out of purses.
WHOOP stands for wish, you have a wish.
Got a wish.
And then, you think about the outcome. So you think about how you'll feel when you have that wish. So there's that.
Outcome.
Yeah. W-O, you dummy.
It's not W-H?
No, it's not like...
What?
Like a...
Whoop?
Whoop strap.
Wow. I wish I knew how to spell.
So it's like manifesting because you think about how great you're going to feel when you have someone that can help you manage your email, right?
Whoop.
And then
I'm double checking.
And then the next O stands for obstacle. And the next N stands for plan.
Uh-huh.
So they do talk about any wish you could ever want. You just think of that wish, and then you think about how great you're going to feel when you have that wish. And that's where manifesting stops. And then where WHOOP starts is you think about the obstacles and then make a plan.
Yeah, that seems to make a lot more productivity sense. That seems more
Yes.
of like a
And I
business
still
book.
check my own emails. So
There's a very famous wrestler, probably in my opinion the best U.S. collegiate wrestler ever. He won 4 national championships. There's only like a couple of people who've ever done that, less than 10, I think, less than 5. And he won them at 4 different weights, which no one else has ever done.
it's a lot of
And-
eating and got
Yeah, it's insane. Well, he moved up every year. He grew. He
Okay.
didn't like...
Okay, he's here bopping around.
He didn't like spin the wheel, and he's like 133, son of a. Okay, all right, But he very famously said he had a notebook, and when he was a freshman, he wrote his Kyle Dake national champion, or
Yeah.
I forget what he was. I think 141-pound national champion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or 2007 year national, whatever. He wrote the very specific thing. His name, his weight, national champion. And so then he wrote it every morning in a notebook.
Yes, I've heard this.
And then that was it. And so it gets a little crazy because the second year he wrote it twice because he was like, I'm going to do it 2 times. And then he did it again, and then he was like, well, I'm screwed. Because then the next year he had to write it 3 times every morning. And then the next year he wrote it 4 times every morning because he was a 4-time champ.
Yeah.
So it was funny because it's like, that's not a plan. There's no there's no set steps in that one. It is a very specific goal, but it's also in his chosen field, and that's the goal of every wrestler that year,
Right.
In theory...
How many wrestlers that year wrote that down?
Well, that's a good question.
How many people write down and then never get it?
Yeah.
You only hear about the
You only hear about the ones that actually do it because you'd only ask them. So you lost in the quarterfinals. What was your plan? Was it to win?
Well, every morning I woke up and wrote down lose in the quarterfinals.
And then get out of there by 7:30 so I can get, So it's funny but I will say, college wrestling, there's a lot of other stuff going on. You got classes, you got, family, you got girlfriend, whatever. Like, it's a goal, sure, and for a lot of people, D1 athletes specifically, it's a very important goal. But this was a way. It seemed like more of a way of focusing every morning. This is my goal for the year, my major goal. You know, I don't think he wrote like A+ in physics 105 or whatever. You know.
Yeah, and that's a yearly goal versus a 5 or 10-year goal, something big like that whole mansion thing.
Right.
So. But
he said that was his big thing, and so that's what I always think about. That's like one of the things that comes up in my mind is like, all right, I like that because it's a specific goal, but it's not a step-by-step goal. But it does focus your day every morning, and you remind yourself like, this is what I'm focused on. This is what I want to accomplish.
And it's already on your path, right? You're not just writing down rock star.
Right.
How many people put a rock star on their vision board and are not rock stars?
A lot.
Also, how many people win whatever wrestling championship and never wrote it down? You know?
Right. I mean, we're not talking about the people that just do it, that don't do it and still succeed. We're talking about the people that manifest and tell you how great manifesting is. Right?
Yeah.
So if they're saying this, have you've never manifested anything other than your email assistant? Who?
I was asking for something realistic. That's basically the tuna sandwich of business.
Might still be coming. We don't know.
Hit me up, anybody who wants to help me manage.
Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, I've thought about big goals, but I've never sat down and basically meditated on them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's what it feels like. The thing that really turned me off to this is that I have a good friend who's really into it. And then a good friend who beat cancer. Okay?
Uh-huh.
And the good
Different
friend who's
people?
really, yes. Good friend who's really into it was like, well, your friend gave themselves cancer.
They inadvertently manifested the monkey's paw.
Yeah. So she's so in this and feels that she has so much control over whatever being tapped in that people who get sick caused it themselves because they manifested it.
Right.
And I said, nope, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm good on that. Now, if the manifesting friend... So the manifesting friend thinks that everything that happens in that person's life was on purpose?
No matter what it is.
No matter what.
You caused it. Almost to the point where it's like the Matrix and you're Neo, but a light version of that.
Light.
Like we're going through a game where we can warp the world around us.
Right.
If you haven't seen The Matrix.
Yeah, spoilers for 1997.
I just rewatched it.
It's great.
I know.
It holds up. It really holds up.
Made me want to be Neo for Halloween.
It's so... Not Trinity?
Oh, no, actually Morpheus, because he's got the cool glasses.
We have those glasses.
I know. I might do it. I might.
Shave your head. Don't be a coward.
Or don't be a coward. Go blackface. Don't be a coward.
Move your teeth.
Oh yeah, he has that little gap. It's so cute.
I mean, that's a lot of manifesting in that movie. Bunch of nerds manifesting a cool superhero world where they can be superheroes instead of just nerds.
Right. Well, and the idea that we probably are in a simulation. Probably.
Knock on wood.
If we're lucky, this is not the first iteration of the world that then will soon get to the point where we're making...
Well, I guess what I was going to ask about what the girl was, or your friend who manifests. Mm-hmm. Can that person manifest stuff for the people around her?
Yeah, and then you start asking those questions.
Go?
Well, and then she talks about co-creating, right? So if I'm trying to give you cancer and you're trying to
no, thank you
to get $1 million, somehow those will mix.
$1 million cancer.
Yeah, I don't know. The idea that the world is a canvas and we're all artists molding it. Sorry, the world's ceramic, clay.
Aiken, gotcha.
And we're all molding it.
Right, we're painting the pot that we molded.
It goes way too far beyond. Yeah, if you have a good outlook, then you'll have a better day, which is really what I believe about manifesting, and that's it. That's where it ends.
I think you probably will have a better day. I know that there's definitely people that I've met in my life who are not unfazed, but like something kind of bad happens and it ruins their day, or something kind of bad happens and the other person doesn't even care a little, doesn't even slow them down. Yeah. And so that, I mean, I guess the idea of manifesting a happy outcome, it's to me is the idea is like zooming out, or have you ever heard the phrase like everything ends well, and if it's not ended well,
it's not over,
or something like that.
Yeah.
So that attitude I think is very helpful for them, I assume.
Yeah, like if you're going to get a parking ticket, that doesn't suck at all if you zoom out and go, well, I will have $10 million.
Or I'm alive to drive
well,
this car.
now you're getting into grateful. And that is, I think, not at all layered onto manifesting. Nobody that manifests is like, just be happy with what you have, like we were talking about before. No one that manifests is like, oh man, it's so wonderful you're alive. No, they're like, you want to realize that things are going to get so much better in the future. That's why sucking now is
I want to manifest being satisfied with something.
Yeah. I want to be manifest just being happy with whatever I have.
I realize I just got to write it down in my notebook every morning.
Yeah. So what you're talking about is gratefulness, and I totally think that's another great tactic to lead a happy life.
Yeah.
And in no way are people with their huge vision boards and wanting a different body and a mansion, are they being grateful for what they have right now? And when they get that thing, are they happy, or are they just going on Instagram being like, it worked, I'm still sad, but they don't.
Or do they make a newer, bigger vision board?
Right, so then it really is, it's just a game, and it's an ongoing, no destination, just play the game.
As vision boards described to me, you put a bunch of stuff on there that you want to have happen, general or specific, either. And then once it happens, or every year, or once something happens, you replace it, or every year you do a new vision board or whatever.
Cross it off, or put it on your achieved board, or what do we do here?
Well, I was looking up fitness vision boards, and one of the things I really liked
just
about
a bunch of butts?
No, that was just my search history. The fitness vision boards, some of them were really good. Some of them were like meal plans, or some of them were streak things. So like every time you ate well again, you like got to keep the chain streak going. Some of them were had columns that were like before, current, future.
And it's just pictures of superheroes?
There's pictures of you, air quotes, you, or where you are, where you were, you know.
So, but it's other people's bodies that you're envisioning in the future?
Some people had their own. Some people had other people's.
Photoshopped, or how they used to look? This is all very confusing to me.
So like, yeah, I'm currently in this shape. In the future, I would like to look like this person. It's drawn, or it's a real bodybuilder, or whatever. But then previously they would have, this is how I used to look before I even started working out. This is me 2 years ago when I was a flabby weakling, or this is an artist representation, or something that I would know reminds me of me at that point. So it was a nice idea to see, to appreciate somewhat of the progress that you've made.
Yeah, I've never seen vision boards as progress, or looking at past success. It's only imagining the future. So that's cool.
I think that's important, because a lot of times, especially if you're doing fitness stuff, but I think you can expand it to any stuff, money stuff, or happiness, relationship, whatever. Like, it's so easy to be like, man, it sucks. I really wish I had blah, blah, blah. And it's so crazy unattainable from where I am right now.
But remember when you had way less. Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Just a success board. I'm going to make one of those.
Sure.
Just point out how much I was making when I graduated college.
How much you were benching.
Yeah, that too. Man.
Negative.
And I'll look at that and be like, well, I've achieved everything. I guess I don't need to exist anymore. Every morning.
Exist.
I've done it.
I don't know. I don't understand, but I guess I don't understand what I was saying about not only the people that are into manifesting super woo-woo or super hippie or whatever, to the point where I can't trust or listen to them. Yeah. Another good chunk of people who are into it are selling me a course on manifesting.
Yeah.
Or they're selling me a private one-on-one coaching. Like, I know this girl, this person, let's not pretend like I know, not naming names, but she's like, yeah, I have a secret to a secret strategy to a 6-figure income in less than a year. It's amazing. I can coach you how to do it, and you can be doing it yourself in 6 months.
OnlyFans.
Close.
Okay.
It's a coaching business. It's an online coaching business.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of like, well, do you have a secret business, or is this a multi-level scheme of some sort, or is this your business that you really have, like you're really good at it, I'm sure. But
I want to coach people how to coach coaching businesses.
Right?
Yeah.
That seems a little shady, or not shady, but like that's not really what you did, sweetheart. Right. Like you're doing really well. I'm happy for you, but you're not selling. You shouldn't sell that, in the way that you're selling that. I guess.
Yes, that makes sense.
Or am I just being a hater? Like I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean.
Or both.
Yeah.
We both could be right.
Simultaneously be those things.
But you know what I mean? So like when people are selling you something, I'm automatically like, whoa, dude, okay. And then my radar, my skepticism radar comes on.
Yeah.
But that's hard too, because sometimes they're right. Like how we have guests on and like they're trying to sell me something, I'm like, all right, whatever. But then I'm like, wow, actually that makes a lot of sense.
I get sold. I know. But the idea of, thinking negatively putting you into like a negative cycle and things going wrong, do you believe in that?
No, not really. When I think negatively, and we've argued about this before, it doesn't put me in a bad mood. And it doesn't make me upset, and it doesn't, I don't think it affects my ability to try the next time.
So you're resilient, you're just imagining the worst. Yeah,
I sort of just like, I don't really think I imagine the worst at the expense of imagining the best. I feel like I just imagine all the possible outcomes.
Yeah. You feel like you're realistic, not pessimistic or optimistic.
Right, exactly. I just feel like, well, let's think of everything that could possibly happen. Not every single thing. Obviously, I'd be thinking for a lot longer than I have been thinking. But, like I envision the extremes. I think about, like we were talking about the dentist, I think about how much it could hurt. Because what if it hurt that much? I want to be mentally prepared. I don't want to be surprised and not be sort
ready
of
for pain.
ready for pain.
Yeah.
And if no pain comes, great. I thought about that too. I thought about it, a bunch of pillows flying from the, you know what I mean? Like a bunch of birds bringing me beers while I'm waiting. You know what I mean? Like I thought about a lot of weird stuff.
You as a Disney princess.
Yeah, just with birds bringing me shots of whiskey and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So so that's why I never understood. It seemed short-sighted. It seemed kind of, not childish, but like plugging your ears and closing your eyes kind of an approach to not think about the negative stuff.
That could happen, yeah.
But that's what they say to do. They're like, you got to focus only on that positive stuff. Really believe.
And if that negative seeps in, then you're screwed, and it feels like impossible.
But that doesn't make sense to me. That feels fairy tale stupid to me. Because then inevitably something bad will happen.
Right.
And then what do? You're just like shattered.
Just imagine you're $10 million, and you're like, this is just a little blip on the radar till I'm loaded.
It is, but but that's why I want to see those people who are like, you have to visualize everything going well. I want to see what happens to them when something goes wrong. Yeah.
Well, and Jamie Haas we had on. Wait, she hasn't gone live yet. So we have the reason that the thing that prompted us talking about this is that we have someone on that has a pretty convincing argument about it. But she was claiming that you can even be skeptical and still manifest. Mm-hmm. You can be like, this isn't going to work, I'm going to try it. So I answered if I've manifested anything and I'm not actually focused on just imagining the best thing possible and really feeling it. Mm-hmm. Have you?
Not specifically. I mean, I guess in sports and stuff, I would imagine winning games or tournaments or whatever.
Yeah, but you're not sitting there thinking, wow, that trophy will be really heavy when I hoist it over my head. You're thinking about the moves that you're doing, you're rehearsing. That's very different. That's very clearly a thing that people do in sports to get better.
Right. And I think it works.
Yes.
But, part of it is, when does it end? Like, do you imagine the champagne at the end? Or do you just imagine... You know what I mean?
I manifested and now I'm just sitting in my room alone drunk.
I've manifested that plenty of times. And dreams come true. You know what I mean? I don't know. know. I can't really think of anything. I've never done anything specific. I've like wished for things a lot, I guess, but they're general things.
Wishing feels so stupid to me.
Right, but why? It's the same fucking thing.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Well, manifesting feels stupid to me.
I wish this made sense to me. That would be really great.
Yearly goals.
Yeah.
And I look at them every morning. So here's what's different from me and the wrestler. I don't write it out. I just look. It's already written out, and I look at it. It's on my computer screen.
So how specific are these goals?
Pretty specific. They're like I want to do this amount of music, and I want to be able to raise one eyebrow, which I talk about on my fitness channel.
What amount of music? How do you measure music?
Like
minutes
an
played?
album, like an album worth. Yeah. Yeah, or this number of streams.
Got a chest timer on your piano, and every time you're going, and then like the clock is ticking.
Published music.
Right.
Yeah, or I want to make the habit of playing the piano every day, or I want a standing back tuck, or a muscle up, which is on the list.
It's great.
But I'm not writing it every day. So if I woke up and I wrote out Ali Spagnola ring muscle up, I have to put my name in it?
Yeah, otherwise I'm doing it.
Oh, no!
Watch someone do a ring muscle up. Your aura's too strong. I'm like, what am I doing?
You're trying to fight it.
I'm like, no!
Okay, so maybe there's some sort of magic in...
I don't know if there's some sort of magic. I think the idea is you focus on it. Now, writing something out, that takes enough mental energy and whatever.
Focus, yeah.
I mean, if maybe like... But they're also saying like there's a big difference between reading something in your head and saying something out loud.
I know. They say...
Yeah. Stuff.
That saying it puts the energy in. Then they start talking about energy and
once people start talking about energy, that's when my eyes really gloss over. Because I'm like, oh, are you a physicist? No?
I am not.
Weird. Okay. No, tell me more about protons. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. I don't have
your intention can change the energy in the world. That's what I think when I hear manifesting and I go, no, you mean your body language could make you better at talking to people? Yeah, I'll believe that.
Yeah. A couple of cocktails make you better at dancing? Sure. A lot of things can happen. It's a weird, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I've ever had specific goals like that. I've had like, I guess when I went to college, I was like, I'd like to graduate. You know what I mean?
Wrote it down every morning.
I'd like to get a job. I never got my dream job.
You're sitting on a couch talking to me for a living.
But I'm saying I didn't write my dream job down and then I fell into things.
Chat with Ali Spagnola.
Well, she cannot do a muscle up.
Dang it!
Stop Ali from doing a muscle up. That's the energy.
That's why I don't have it.
Sorry,
we've been co-creating
my
this
electrons are too hard. They go hard.
Oh, you jerk.
Yeah, I don't know though. I mean,
should we try it? Should we just do it for a week?
Well,
something that's attainable within a week. Honestly, I'm that close to a muscle up that
a week away. I'm up. I'm psyched.
A week or 7 years. It's either 7 days or 7 years.
One or the other.
Yeah. But I mean, sure. I guess the reason that I've never tested it out is because the more I read about it, the more it felt like, oh, you can't do this skeptical. And that's why Jamie sort of changed my mind, and why now we're talking about it now, is that, okay, so what if I'm skeptical? Try it, you know, and see if Lindsay Hoffman is right. I mean, she might live in a mansion right now. Honestly, I don't know.
I don't know if she had mansion on her thing, but I know she had said she wanted to live in... She visited her friend who lives in this really nice building near YouTube Space. Wow, sorry. There are a bunch of buildings near YouTube Space, which actually exists. I'm going there on Friday.
What?
And she was like, I wanted to manifest living in a building like this. Or I manifested because I wanted to live in a building like this. Huh. And then she was like, yeah, it was so weird. I just bought a place in that exact same building. I'm like, what? Wow. So, that's about as specific as I think a goal can get.
And attainable. It's not outside of the realm of possibility. It's not outside the realm of possibility that any of us could have $10 million at some point. But that one felt closer to tuna fish sandwich than $10 million.
I mean,
than Velociraptor pet.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's again, it's one of those things where I'm so skeptical, and that's why it was nice hearing that you're allowed to be skeptical.
Yeah. Yeah, but it makes me think, well, if I can be skeptical, then I definitely need to be trying this. Because there's no downside except you wasted some time that could have been used doing more push-ups.
I mean,
or
I know.
actual meditating, which will make a difference in your stress response. Or whatever.
I mean, I bet, if you... I mean, this probably overlaps with meditations, the effect it'll have on your mental state, right? It's not going to stress you out to manifest a happy ending for yourself.
How wonderful things are. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, maybe everyone that's manifesting is secretly just meditating, and they have a better parasympathetic nervous system, and so they're just crushing at life.
Yeah. They just did it backwards.
Once again, I'm still trying to analytic my way out of this versus emotional, analytical.
And so when do you come up with your goals? And when do you say
at the
whether
end
they're a success or not?
I do it in December. I edit them unless things happen. If I check them off, if I actually do them, then I will show that in my yearly goal, and then I re-up and change, because by the time a year goes, he's like, well, maybe this wasn't actually what I wanted to be going for, or maybe there's a different thing that is even better opportunity. And that's another thing. I still think the idea of having really specific goals sometimes gets in people's way, because you just need to be open to whatever.
Yeah. I mean, especially with what we're doing.
Yeah.
It changes every 6 months.
If I was like, I'm going to be a musician on YouTube, then I never would have made a gold skeleton and had, a crazy art career online, because I was able to see that opportunity and take it. So how many times could you got cast in a movie and you were too busy focusing on your $10 million?
Right. I mean, it's also, I think when you think about career and what you're doing when you're happy or whatever, it always helped me to sort of distill it a little bit. So what is your actual job? Are you a YouTuber? Are you a musician? Are you whatever? You're kind of an artist, if not entertainer.
Sure.
Like doctors and...
Is that how you define yourself too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably more entertainer than artist, but doctors, I think, are probably scientists, and maybe they're trying to help people a little bit. That's their field that they prefer, but that's a science. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think if you sort of break it down that way, that helps you deal with. I think that's helped me deal with my goals and my direction.
What's going to help you reach the most people to entertain?
Right. Is that what I really like doing? Because that's the path I'm going towards, is entertaining, not art. There are plenty of artists that don't.
They're insufferable to deal with.
They're terrible.
Why would I want to look at that?
Well, and then they're broke and nobody sees their work. It's incredible, but it's so specific or whatever, and maybe it helps people, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just expresses that emotion or feeling or whatever that they're trying to express, but it's not commercially successful.
Sure.
So I don't know. I think in that sense, that's sort of steered my.
So you keep your goal broader.
Yeah, well, what you're doing is broader, and then your goal.
The way you get there is broad, but the goal is specifically, okay, to help you stay focused. Because if an opportunity comes where you could make ugly, unentertaining art, you're like, nope, no thanks.
That's not me.
Not on my goal.
I'm pretty.
I'm pretty.
Too gorgeous.
So I do think now, after this conversation, I'm gonna
Vision board?
try it out. Yeah. I hate that. I hate
Real
that so
or...
much. Should this be a fitness video where I test out if manifesting works scientifically?
I love that. What would you manifest about yourself physically?
Muscle up.
No. Visually, physically.
Oh, you mean specifically aesthetics?
Aesthetic.
Nothing. I'm perfect the way I am.
Good answer.
Thank you. No, really. I don't know, like maybe a little more recomposition, but that's a thing that I focused on.
But that's
like,
what
I want more
bodybuilders-
muscle and less fat. Like, that's not a vision thing. That's a, what are the steps I do every day to get more muscle and
Right.
less fat?
But isn't that what bodybuilders do? They visualize.
Do they?
I don't know. You're a
Stanimal? We gotta hit them up. Do they visualize? I mean, if they're visualizing themselves posing on stage, I get that. Again,
Yeah.
that's mental rehearsal for a physical executed thing.
All right, fine. So then, what's your vision? What's on your vision board, fitness wise?
Well, first we gotta know what you would change aesthetically about you.
Probably a third arm.
More is always better. Oh
Did you see
man,
that?
can you imagine when you could play the piano? You could,
That is what I would do. Yeah.
you could play the piano and fry an egg at the same time.
I could juggle 3 balls finally.
You're just holding them.
Throwing them up and catching them with the same
Somehow
hand.
hit your eye.
Yeah. Blind myself. What's on your vision board for fitness goals then?
Yeah, this is gonna take some. It's got to be something where this scientific test is realistic, but still kind of proves that my if I don't get the muscle up in 1 year,
Well, you can't be going negatives.
well, it'll be after that. Then I can say, well, I
Oh.
tried doing it physically. Now I'm gonna try doing it mentally. The problem is that my physical will still get better, so it's like compounding. That sucks. I can't ever make a study that would.
What about a 1-arm pull-up?
Yeah. All right.
You can
So
manifest
I'll spend a year manifesting it, and then I'll spend a year actually training for it. That's so stupid.
That'd be a great video. Current update, still the same. Haven't made a lot of progress.
But I'm writing it down every morning. Yeah, no, I guess I'd have to think about something that would be reasonable to attain, but pretty hard to do, and impressive if I pull it off just by thinking about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And am I allowed to train for it too?
I think you have to be able to train for it, right? I mean, there's no way that manifesting would be at the exclusion or at the expense of training for something.
Sure.
You're not manifesting a great job and then not going to college for that job. Or, you know what I mean? Not studying, not reading books about, not talking to people. You're not just thinking real hard.
Yeah, saying rock star and then having a job as an entertainer in a different field, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, this would be a great study because I've been, counting my macros, working out for years.
Nice.
7, 8 years.
Flex.
Where it's been 7 years where I will do a transformation video and show where I started and where I've gotten. And it's been pretty slow progress. I've even made a video about how this transformation took forever. I'll spend a year manifesting and see if I move faster.
Yeah, I manifested drastic transformation this year. This year is
This
going to
year,
be...
because I thought about my delts getting bigger. See, I even feel like you can change the chemicals within you to transport nutrients to your delts
All right, hang on.
better and faster if you're fully believing that it's working.
Yeah, I'm drunk.
So that I could get behind. If you're sitting there believing, okay.
Is that just mind-muscle connection, though? I mean,
No.
that's what they talk about.
No, the
Okay,
maid
well-
study. I've talked about
Oh,
this.
yeah, that's
where the
right.
maid, when you tell maids that they've been doing things that are super healthy, they've been exercising their whole life, the whole time they've had their career, when they push vacuums and change sheets, that's all way better than the FDA recommendation for working out. They suddenly get healthier. They don't change anything about what they're doing. They're just told that what they're doing is healthy, and their waistlines got thinner. They lowered their cholesterol. Their heart was healthier because
Someone told them.
someone said, "Hey, do you know you're healthy?" And
No,
I'm
but
like,
you
"What?"
know that story. And you've told me that before.
Yes,
And the only thing that changed was
their belief.
their mental approach,
State.
their state, whatever, their belief. And yet you still don't believe in manifesting.
No, I do believe in manifesting for your physicality, for things internal, not sending the energy outward into the universe. Not that whole I can give someone else cancer
Right.
or take away their cancer or whatever. When it starts going external, when it's not some sort of chemical change within you and your mind controlling, the glycogen transport of my muscles because
Sure.
I'm truly believing that it's working. that's when I start getting skeptical.
I get skeptical immediately. I got out of bed skeptical.
You don't even. So do you don't even believe the maid study thing?
I don't know. I would like to. I'd like to. I'll look into it a little.
What
bit
sucks
more.
about it is that they believed it, right? That was wholehearted placebo. There was no skepticalness there. Skepticality.
Hospitality.
That fits their mates. That they're like, oh, great, you're not lying to me. This is well.
There's just I never thought of it that way, but then that is true. Now, when did they test them? Did they test them again after a year? Did they?
Yeah, I don't know the specifics. And they had a control group study. Group that didn't approve.
But once they tell you that
they made sure that they did the same level of activity.
How?
What? I don't know. They tracked them. How did they science? Look, I
don't
read the
they? I don't believe this. Those they people. I mean, I believe it. I don't know.
Yeah, see, that also comes to you can heal yourself. And there are a lot of people that believe in manifesting that talk about how people just heal themselves. I believe that too. I hate that.
You believe it?
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. I think there's a lot of health stuff that we can't define or solve or figure out.
Ulcers.
And people, yeah, like paper cuts. We'll never get to the bottom of that one. But I think people are so desperate for an answer that this falls into that sort of.
No, I'm so for it. What sucks is that, again, the people that talk about healing yourself talk about wholeheartedly believing and imagining, like if you have some sort of knee problem, you're imagining that the light and the healing and in no way can any sort of negativity slip in there. You can only just visualize your perfect knee glowing with its perfect godliness. And then you'll heal yourself.
Glowing.
I do think you can change what's going on in your body with just your brain.
Maybe a little. Certainly not to the level that people are representing.
Well,
I don't think you can think your way out of cancer.
Because if you're in fight or flight mode, your body's not going to heal itself. It's going to use that energy to... Oh no, I'm talking about energy. It's going to use its resources to fight or flight you, right? And so when you convince your body that you are healthy and you can heal, that's when you start to. So I guess this is another meditation stress.
Well, then why wouldn't you take a bunch of sleeping pills and sleep 18 hours a day and then heal yourself?
New fitness video!
No, you can't. The guy talked about it in their
what?
Sleep book.
Oh, that it's too much sleep?
You can't. There's certain things that you can't just sleep away, solve. You can't sleep heal yourself.
Yeah.
There's certain things you can't sleep heal yourself for.
Yeah. I don't. Oh, so you're saying that if you just slept all the time, while you're sleeping, you're in that mode to repair.
You're in repair mode for sure. So you're.
I don't know. No, not according to my Aura ring or anything else. Any of my other trackers are like, that wasn't real sleep.
Nice
Your
try.
body, you can. I don't mean acutely fight or flight mode. I'm talking like a holistically. Whenever you're going through a stressful time, or even parents taking care of kids, and then suddenly when the kids are better and everything relaxes, and then you realize, okay, we're past this whatever struggle it was, then you get sick. That's over a longer period of time where it's ambulance coming for me because I'm unwell.
Gotta think your way out of that one.
That's over a longer period of time versus, during the day you're stressed and at night you're not. You can have a week where you're in this heightened state of your body thinking, okay, I really need to conserve and not repair. And changing your thoughts will change your body to repair mode. How did this episode turn into me arguing for manifesting?
You must have manifested it.
Yeah, this sucks.
Blame your thoughts, I guess.
So you're out even on internal physical healing stuff.
I think, yes, I am out on that. I think that's a lot of hooey gooey. But I also trust drugs. I think drugs work really well, and I think surgery works really well. And this idea of like over drugging, over surgerying, like sure, I'm sure that's a little bit of a problem, but not nearly as much as under surgerying and under drugging.
Okay, what if can you manifest growing your beard faster? Because you know how fast it's going to grow, and this internal thing
I'll try it.
Of being able to change your body chemistry, I feel like that's a good test.
I gotta film a bunch of beard stuff next couple of days, then I'll go clean it off, and then I'll go a month or whatever, and we'll see how it'll be a 2-month ordeal, because we'll have to do it for a month.
Right. And then start over.
Really think about it hard
really
for a
wholly
month.
believe that you can make your beard grow faster.
I will. That's a great one. You too?
Yes.
Your beard fucking sucks, by the way. So bad.
I haven't shaved in decades. I'm trying. I mean, technically, then I should be able to manifest a beard too. If you can really change your chemical makeup.
Or should I manifest a thicker beard or no beard at all?
Just imagine not having ever to shave because you just stopped your face from growing.
Just focus! Like, if that were the case, you think bald people would manifest themselves with a full head of hair, or short people
Well, I'm sure that's on people's vision boards.
New
I'm
hair.
sure. Yeah. Or, like stopping a receding hairline, or getting, fuller hair. And maybe we gotta find if that's worked.
we got a lot of homework to do.
I really want... See, this is so hard to do because nobody's going to submit. I want a group of people that are like, yeah, I've been manifesting, or I've been trying to manifest, and none of it works.
Well, try it for you. I mean, it'd be nice to know for a lot of people. I would really want to know for me.
What?
Does it work for me or not?
Oh, specifically you. How far outside the realm? Maybe there is a reasonable level of manifesting.
You know,
like you can't be a female asking for a beard.
Can't manifest myself taller.
I feel like
Or
you
can
could.
I?
I feel like you could. If it was in the realm of you're still in puberty and growing, I feel like you could focus on it and get taller.
Oh, I see. So during.
But now that you're past that
full ground,
point, that's
yeah.
sort of the cutoff for it being within the realm of...
real possibility.
Yeah. Oh, I even want to say you could do it now. That's so stupid.
Try it. Manifest yourself shorter. I'll go taller. We'll see who gets there first.
Oh, it's so dumb. All right. Oh, we also talked about potentially doing an episode where we critique other people's vision boards. Let us know if you want that.
Love that.
Are there any public figures that have their vision boards public? Is this such a personal thing that no one's done it?
I think it'd be kind of mean to. I don't think.
Yes,
we should,
obviously, that's the point.
I don't think we should pick the person. I think we should just pick the board. Because I don't think it'd be fair to be like, look at this idiot. He manifested himself as an astronaut. What
and
an
it worked.
Idiot.
Buzz Aldrin.
No, we're
What
not
an
allowed.
idiot.
We're not allowed to have the answers. We just have to critique the vision board.
Okay, fine. I just feel like there are probably not many published.
No, I doubt.
It's like a weird... Is it
It's kind
embarrassing?
of a weird personal
or is
thing.
it...
Yeah. I would think so.
See, then, it's embarrassing because it's not real. It's not realistic. It's stupid for you to imagine that. You should feel stupid. That's why it's embarrassing, because you should feel stupid manifesting.
Right. Don't ever think about trying anything, you idiot.
If manifesting was real, you shouldn't feel stupid about it.
Why don't you manifest yourself a spine, huh? Loser.
All right. Ugh. And if you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts, that helps us out a whole lot. And we'll see you next week.